Okay, managing nerves and anxiety. I'm going to use a combat sports environment as an example because that is my profession, but these principles will transfer over to normal day-to-day life as well. Athlete, he's about to fight, he's suffering with nerves. He's really, really nervous and anxious about the fight. He goes into the fight, he does horribly and he loses. And afterwards he says to me, I was just really, really nervous and I just wasn't myself. That is correct. When you're really angry, you aren't yourself. You do things that you wouldn't normally do. And anxiety and fear is exactly the same. You act in a completely different way. So how can we manage these? Well, first, we have to actually air them. We have to actually ask ourselves, what are we scared of? Why are we feeling this way? Then let the inner voice talk and tell you why you're feeling fear. And then note those things or reasons why you're feeling fear. And then what we need to do is we need to try and talk to that inner voice and tell it some truths. So if that inner voice, for example, is telling the fighter that I'm really scared that I could get knocked out. Well, do you know what? You could get knocked out. So yeah, that is a possibility. I might get knocked out. That is part and parcel of the sport. And this is why I do that sport, because I enjoy it and I love it and I want to be here. And I know that that is a potential risk. Okay, well, I don't want to be humiliated in front of all of my friends if I get knocked out. Okay, well, the truth there would be that you can't control what other people think of you. People are going to think good things and bad things of you no matter how you act in life. And you can't control that. But the people that love you and that are in your inner circle, no matter what happens to you in this environment, their feelings towards you are never going to change and they're going to love you regardless. So don't worry about what other people think of you. Now, these are just two really quick examples to explain how you can manage anxiety. Now, obviously it goes a lot further in depth than this, but that's the start. So next time you start to feel really anxious about something, I'm going to say, like I said, in the fight environment, but for you in day-to-day life, let your inner voice tell you why you're scared and what you're anxious about. And then attempt to answer those questions. Okay, this is how we're going to deal with it. This is how we're going to manage it. And that's my advice, quick little bit of advice to deal with anxiety.